Ever wonder why some guys are instantly forgotten while others linger in her thoughts for months or even years?
It's not what you think.
Today I'm revealing the psychological truth behind what makes a man absolutely unforgettable to women. Stay until the end because this could change everything about how you approach relationships. Picture this scenario. Two guys take the same woman on a date. Guy number one spends $300 at an upscale restaurant, talks about his achievements, and texts her constantly afterward. Guy number two grabs coffee, asks thoughtful questions, and then gives her space. Guess which one she's still thinking about 6 months later? The second guy, and here's why. The secret isn't in your wallet, your looks, or your pickup lines. It's in your ability to create what I call emotional resonance. This is the psychological imprint you leave on someone's mind that goes beyond surface-level attraction. When you master this, you become the standard by which she measures every other man. Let me break down the 5 core elements that create this unforgettable impact. First, authentic presence in a distracted world. We live in an age of constant notifications, endless scrolling, and divided attention. Most men are physically present but mentally scattered. They're thinking about work, checking their phones, or planning their next move. But here's what happens when you flip the script. When you give someone your complete, undivided attention, something remarkable occurs in their brain. You trigger what psychologists call the spotlight effect, making them feel like the most important person in the room. This isn't about staring intensely or being overly focused. It's about creating a bubble where nothing else exists except the conversation you're having. I remember talking to a woman who described a man she met briefly at a bookstore. He wasn't particularly handsome or wealthy, but when she spoke, he listened like her words contained the secrets of the universe. Years later, she still remembered how that felt.
That is the power of genuine presence.
Second, the paradox of emotional safety with masculine strength. Here's where most men get it wrong. They think they need to choose between being sensitive or being strong. This creates 2 types of guys that women ultimately find forgettable. The overly nice guy who agrees with everything and never stands for anything, and the tough guy who never shows vulnerability or emotional depth. The unforgettable man combines both qualities seamlessly. He creates a safe space where she can express herself freely while maintaining his own boundaries and convictions. He's not afraid to disagree respectfully or stand his ground when necessary. This combination is incredibly rare and psychologically compelling because it satisfies 2 fundamental human needs: security and excitement.
Think of it like this.
She feels safe enough to be vulnerable with you, but intrigued enough to want to discover more about who you are beneath the surface. Third, controlled detachment that creates magnetic pull. This might sound counterintuitive, but the men women remember most are those who wanted them but didn't need them. There's a crucial difference between these 2 states of mind. When you need someone, you operate from scarcity. You text too much, agree too quickly, and sacrifice your own interests to keep them happy. When you want someone but don't need them, you operate from abundance. You have your own life, goals, and interests that don't revolve around their approval. This creates what psychologists call intermittent reinforcement, the same principle that makes gambling addictive. Your attention becomes valuable because it's not guaranteed. She starts to wonder what you're doing when you're not texting back immediately. This isn't about playing games. It's about maintaining your own identity and not losing yourself in the relationship. Fourth, the strength to walk away with dignity. Nothing burns into a woman's memory like a man who knows his worth well enough to leave when disrespected. Most guys argue, plead, or try to convince her to treat them better. But the unforgettable man simply recognizes incompatibility and exits gracefully. This moment becomes a defining memory because it reveals character under pressure. You're not trying to hurt her or prove a point. You're simply demonstrating that you value yourself too much to accept poor treatment. This kind of self-respect is incredibly attractive and memorable because it's so uncommon. She might not appreciate it in the moment, but later, when she encounters men who tolerate disrespect or become aggressive when challenged, she'll remember the one who handled it with class. Fifth, the perfect balance of consistency and mystery. Predictability kills attraction, but so does inconsistency. The unforgettable man maintains reliable character while keeping certain aspects of himself intriguingly unclear.
You show up when you say you will. Your value remains steady.
Your treatment of others stays consistent. But you don't reveal everything about yourself immediately. You have layers that take time to uncover. You have interests and experiences she's curious about but hasn't fully explored. This creates ongoing fascination. She knows she can count on you, but she's still discovering who you are. It's like reading a compelling book where each chapter reveals something new while maintaining the same engaging voice. The psychological principle at work here is called the curiosity gap. When there's just enough mystery to keep her interested but enough consistency to feel secure, her mind naturally fills in the blanks with positive assumptions about you. Here's the truth most men never understand. Being unforgettable isn't about being perfect. It's about being psychologically compelling. You create emotional experiences that stand out from the routine interactions she has with other people. The man she never forgets isn't necessarily the most handsome, richest, or most successful. He's the one who made her feel something unique. He challenged her perspective while making her feel understood. He was strong enough to lead, but secure enough to listen. He valued her company but didn't depend on it for his happiness. This isn't manipulation or mind games. It's emotional intelligence applied to relationships. When you understand what creates lasting psychological impact, you naturally become more attractive and memorable. Remember, women encounter hundreds of men throughout their lives, but they only remember a few. The ones they remember are those who triggered genuine emotions and created meaningful experiences. These are the men who understood that attraction isn't just about what you say or do in the moment, but about who you are when nobody's watching. If this resonated with you, there's more depth to explore in understanding female psychology and attraction. The principles I've shared today are just the beginning of a much larger conversation about becoming the kind of man who naturally draws people toward him. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because I'll be breaking down more of these psychological insights that can transform your relationships and social interactions. Remember, becoming unforgettable isn't about changing who you are, it's about becoming the best version of who you already are.